Many of us grew up hearing stories of 1001 Nights, tales of brave sailors like Sinbad, clever thieves like Ali Baba, and wise genies with magical powers. But have you ever wondered how these stories began? Today, we are going back to the very first tale, a story about kings, betrayal, and the power of storytelling. In the world where betrayal can shatter even the strongest rulers, one woman dares to change everything. With nothing but her intelligence and courage, she sets a plan, one that could save and decide the fate of an entire kingdom. So listen closely, for this is no ordinary tale. It is a story of secrets, wisdom, and a clever mind that turns the tide of destiny. And just like the best stories, this one is only getting started. Once upon a time, there were two kings who were brothers. The older brother, Shahryar, ruled over the grand kingdom of India and China. His younger brother, Shahzaman, had his own smaller kingdom, which was called Samarkand. And though they were far apart, they were very close. Well, at least that's what has been said at the beginning of our story. One day, King Shahryar invited Shahzaman to visit him. He wanted to catch up, share stories, and probably show off a little. He sent his vizier to invite Shahzaman. The invite was accepted. Shahzaman gathered his belongings, packed his royal caravan, and set up camp outside his city before embarking on his journey. Just before departing though, Shahzaman remembered something. He had forgotten a special gift for Shahryar. He returned to his palace to retrieve it, but upon entering his chambers, he was met with a sight no king ever wants to see. Shahzaman discovered that someone he trusted had betrayed him while he was away, and that person was his wife. Shahzaman had her punished and left for his brother's kingdom with a broken heart. I guess he no longer felt like really doing anything fun. Still, he went on the journey, but he was very sad the whole way. When Shahzaman arrived at his brother's palace, he tried to hide his sorrow and pain, but Shahryar noticed right away that something was wrong. He asked, "What's bothering you? You look like you have been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders." But Shahzaman didn't want to talk about it, so he just said he was tired from the trip. Now Shahryar wanted to cheer up his little brother, so he planned a grand feast with music, dancing, and all sorts of entertainment. But Shahzaman wasn't in the mood, and instead of enjoying the party, he went to bed early, as he was still feeling down. Shahryar, wanting to help, suggested they go hunting to lift his brother's spirit, but Shahzaman was still too upset and chose to stay. While his brother was away, something unexpected happened. From the palace window, Shahzaman saw his brother's wife sneaking out into the garden with several servants, and just like Shahzaman's wife, they too were betraying the king. Shahzaman couldn't believe it. He thought, if the great King Shahryar, ruler of such a vast kingdom, can be betrayed, maybe my pain isn't so unique after all. This made Shahzaman feel better, not because he enjoyed his brother's misfortune, but because he realized he wasn't alone. If even someone as powerful as Shahryar could be hurt by the closest people to him, then maybe his own troubles weren't so unbearable. So as said, misery loves company, right? When Shahryar returned from his hunt, he noticed his brother looked much better. Shahzaman started enjoying the feast, laughing and talking like his old self. Shahryar was like, "What happened? You were down in the dumps when I left for hunting, and now you are acting like you won the lottery." Shahzaman didn't want to say at first, but eventually he told Shahryar what had happened to him and what he saw in the palace. This made Shahryar very upset. He couldn't believe that he, the mighty king, could be betrayed too, but he soon saw it with his own eyes. He punished those who had wronged him, just as his brother had done, but that wasn't enough to heal his broken heart. Fueled by anger and a bit of pride, he decided that he could no longer trust another woman. He came up with a harsh plan. He would marry a new bride every day, and well, let's just say they wouldn't live to see the next day. And this way, he was sure no woman could ever betray him again. For a while, this terrible plan continued. The kingdom grew sadder with each passing day, as more young women disappeared. Fear spread through the streets. Families were desperate to protect their daughters, and soon there were no more brides left. No one wanted to marry the king, knowing what fate awaited them. Until one day, there was a young woman named Shahrazad, the clever and brave daughter of the king's advisor. Shahrazad had been watching the sad events in the kingdom and came up with a bold idea. She told her father, "I will marry the king and put an end to this sadness." Her father was shocked and very worried. He begged her not to go for it, afraid she would end up like all the others. But Shahrazad was determined. She had a clever plan in mind. Shahrazad's younger sister, Dunyazad, wanted to help too. Together, they decided to used the magic of storytelling to change the king's heart. Even though her father was scared, he then agreed, and the next day Shahrazad married King Shahryar. That night, with her sister Dunyazad by her side, she put her plan into action. As they were sitting before the king, Dunyazad made a simple request to hear one last story from her sister before the night was over. And so Shahrazad began to weave a tale, one so interesting and full of excitement that the king couldn't stop listening. The hours passed, and Shahrazad kept telling her story. Just when it was getting to the most exciting part, the sun started to rise. Her sister Dunyazad said, "Your story is amazing. Please, if the king allows, finish it tomorrow." King Shahryar was hooked. He wanted to know how the story ended. So, instead of ending Shahrazad's life like the others, he let her live for one more day so she could finish the story. This was exactly what Shahrazad had planned. Every night, she told the king a new story, each one even more exciting than the last. But she always stopped at the best part, leaving the king curious and wanting more. Now, as for us, our journey with Shahrazad has just begun. Stay tuned for the next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to the legendary Storyteller for more amazing stories. See you next time.